insidious, insidious, insidious.
서서히 퍼지는.
It is insidious, eating away at our self-perception without us even being aware of it. Stealthy, subtle, surreptitious. Leverage, leverage, leverage.
활용하다. 영향력.
They have not learned how to leverage their assets to represent themselves in the best way. Mumble, mumble, mumble.
투덜거림. 투덜거리다.
The game works because each child does not merely degrade the phrase, which would culminate in a mumble. Murky, murky, murky.
탁한. 흐린.
A catfish has finally honed senses that allow it to survive and find food in murky, muddy waters. Dull, dim, overcast. Mute, mute, mute.
소리를 내지 않는. 무언해.
Print has shriveled, radio has gone mute, and the internet has obviously soaked up a lot of those lost eyeballs and ears. Negate, negate, negate.
무효로 하다.
Last year, most people found that any increase in their incomes was completely negated by the rise in the cost of living. Invalidate, nullify. Obscurity, obscurity, obscurity.
무명. 불명확.
Artists who had struggled for years in poverty and obscurity suddenly found self-confidence and success. Onerous, onerous, onerous.
번거로운. 아주 힘든.
Activists often turn participation into an onerous duty that entails constant meetings, discussions, deliberations, and decision-making. Burdensome, arduous, overriding, overriding, overriding.
최우선의. 압도적인.
They were in full agreement about one thing: the overriding need to prevent a nuclear war that neither could win without destroying the world and themselves. Outstanding, predominant, prevailing. Playwright, playwright, playwright.
극작가.
This long-winded playwright is one of the most inventive, scholarly, and vastly challenging voices on the current theatrical scene. Practitioner, practitioner, practitioner.
개인병원 의사.
What is it that makes a person into a medical practitioner? Predicament, predicament, predicament.
곤경. 궁지.
My present predicament is that I met a wonderful man who wants to marry me, but there's a problem. Plight, quandary, muddle. Pronounced, pronounced, pronounced.
두드러진. 확연한. 단호한.
Over several generations, these traits became more pronounced in their offspring until the features were well established in the birds. Conspicuous, striking, perspicuous. Prune, prune, prune.
잘라내다. 말린 차도.
Though in practice, The city will periodically prune the locks just as they sweep the coins from the Trevi fountain. Quantify. Quantify. Quantify.
수량화하다.
While reputation may be difficult to describe and quantify, many of us will intuitively have a sense of those colleagues who have good reputations and those who do not. Quixotic. Quixotic. Quixotic.
비현실적인. 돈키호테.
The 12-year-old Dickens, his schooling interrupted, was sent to work at a shoe-blacking factory in a quixotic attempt to remedy his family's plight. Idealistic. Starry-eyed. Replenish. Replenish. Replenish.
다시 채우다. 보충하다.
Earth's resources must be used at a rate at which they can be replenished. Refill. Reload. Recharge. Revamp. Revamp. Revamp.
개조하다.
The bus station was revamped and its two main buildings were practically rubble. Sinewy. Sinewy. Sinewy.
근육질의.
The choya was tall and slender, yet broad-shouldered, his double-elbowed arms sinewy with grace, and there was a natural arrogance to his stride. Skittish. Skittish. Skittish.
겁이 없는. 까불대는.
And not only are they less skittish, but they are also better at eluding enemies in the event of actual attack. Playful. Frisky. Coltish. Transcendental. Transcendental. Transcendental.
초월하는.
In this specific notion of humanity, a conception of what existed was promulgated within the bourgeois world which promised redemption from the constraint of what existed without escaping into a transcendental realm. Vanity. Vanity. Vanity.
허영. 자만심.
The guy is giddy with vanity these days and boasting that he is sure to be a star. Conceit. Egotism. Haughtiness. Venal. Venal. Venal.
부패한. 돈에 매수되는.
Those venal and furtive loves filled him with despair. Vi. Vi. Vi.
경쟁하다. 겨루다.
He intends to vie with his colleagues for the coveted promotion. Compete. Contend. Contest. Contradiction. Contradiction. Contradiction.
모순. 반박.
This contradiction in valuative terms points to the modern experience of primitivism. Conflict. Inconsistency. Ineffable. Ineffable. Ineffable.
형언할 수 없는.
Creativity is an ineffable something, accessible only to persons of genius. Inexpressible. Indescribable. Purge. Purge. Purge.
제거하다. 숙청하다.
Montgomery County leaders announced a costly effort to purge panhandlers from busy streets. Sumptuous. Sumptuous. Sumptuous.
사치스러운.
Within decades, the area was booming, complete with polo and cricket fields, palatial hotels, and sumptuous homes. Lavish. Luxurious. Opulent. Pinnacle. Pinnacle. Pinnacle.
정점, 정상, 산봉우리.
Beginning during the Renaissance, mimesis was considered the pinnacle of artistic achievement. Apex. Summit. Porous. Porous. Porous.
투과성에 구멍이 많은.
An oasis is formed where water carried from far away by porous soil finds an outlet as a spring or artesian well. Concoct. Concoct. Concoct.
날조하다, 만들다.
What we see from Russia is an illegal and illegitimate effort to destabilize a sovereign state and create a concocted crisis with paid operatives across an international boundary. Fabricate. Contrive. Squander. Squander. Squander.
낭비하다.
The Confederacy squandered its last chance for foreign support. Sagging. Sagging. Sagging.
침체된.
President François Hollande introduced the tax as a way to force the rich to support the sagging economy. Obsolete. Obsolete. Obsolete.
더 이상 쓰이지 않는, 낡은.
If a person attend a trade school to learn how to repair televisions with vacuum tubes and then found this skill made obsolete by the invention of solid-state electronics, he would end up earning a low wage. Outdated. Outmoded. Antiquated. Dementia. Dementia. Dementia.
치매.
When we start developing dementia, usually several decades before we notice symptoms, certain regions of the brain start to shrink. Jolt. Jolt. Jolt.
충격, 충격을 주다.
Experts agree that students should first be exposed to conflict resolution skills before they are hit by the double jolt of hormones and junior high school. Horizontal. Horizontal. Horizontal.
수평적인, 수평의.
Networks are horizontal and reciprocal, more open and flexible. Alteration. Alteration. Alteration.
변화, 의류수선.
Since the middle of the 20th century, a significant alteration has occurred in the relativity of conduct and morals. Fragility. Fragility. Fragility.
연약함, 깨지기 쉬움.
Her voice lacked range and was somewhat thin, plus years of abuse eventually altered the texture of her voice and gave it a prepossessing fragility. Vulnerability. Delicacy. Flimsiness. Abolitionist. Abolitionist. Abolitionist.
폐지론자.
The word emancipation and abolitionist have specific meanings connected with the Americans' efforts to abolish slavery in the Civil War.